In the far northern regions of our planet, where winter seems endless and the land remains frozen year-round, something ancient is beginning to reawaken. For tens of thousands of years, the Arctic permafrost has preserved the remains of past worlds, plants, animals, microbes, and viruses, locked in a cold so deep that time itself appears to stand still. Today, as the Arctic warms at a rate faster than anywhere else on Earth, the frozen ground is beginning to release what it has kept hidden for millennia. What lies beneath that ice is not just history, it is a record of life itself. Permafrost is more than just frozen soil. It is a vast geological archive that covers a quarter of the northern hemisphere. Across Siberia, Alaska, Canada, and Scandinavia, it extends hundreds of meters below the surface. Some of this ground has remained frozen since before humans built their first cities, and within its layers are traces of everything that once lived there, locked away, unchanged, and waiting. As temperatures continue to rise, this ancient freezer is thawing, and as this frozen archive begins to open, we're starting to discover what has been sealed inside for tens of thousands of years. In recent years, researchers studying Siberian permafrost revived several ancient viruses. One of them had not been active for 48,500 years. Yet under careful laboratory conditions, it became infectious again, proof that life, even in its simplest forms, can endure unimaginable stretches of time. These particular viruses only infect amoebas, not humans, and the work was carried out with extreme caution, but their revival showed that frozen viruses can remain viable far longer than we once believed. Inside permafrost, almost nothing decomposes. The cold halts biological activity, the dryness prevents chemical reactions, and the lack of oxygen slows decay to nearly nothing. A leaf remains a leaf, a cell remains a cell, and a virus remains unchanged, held in perfect stillness until the world around it warms. This idea may feel distant until we look at events that have already unfolded outside the laboratory. But the most striking evidence of what thawing ice can reveal didn't come from a laboratory. It came from the real world. In the summer of 2016, an unusually hot season in Siberia caused deeper layers of permafrost to thaw. As the ground softened, it exposed the carcass of a reindeer that had died decades earlier. That reindeer had been infected with anthrax, and once uncovered, the dormant bacteria became active again. The consequences were immediate. More than 2,600 reindeer died. 36 people were hospitalized. A young boy lost his life. It was the region's first anthrax outbreak in nearly 70 years, awakened simply by a stretch of abnormal warmth. The event forced evacuations and emergency responses across the region. And that single event raised a much larger question. If one carcass can hold a disease dormant for decades, what might be waiting in the layers even older than that? Over thousands of years, countless animals, and even early humans, lived and died on the Arctic tundra. Their remains now rest in frozen soil, along with the microorganisms that lived within them. Scientists know that permafrost holds traces of ancient smallpox, remnants of plague bacteria, and viruses that once circulated among Ice Age animals. Some are well understood. Others are complete unknowns, preserved so perfectly that even their genetic material remains intact. Remarkably preserved mammoths, wolves, and even plants have been recovered from the ice, some so intact that their cells can still function. If organisms that complex can survive for millennia, Simpler ones like bacteria and viruses may endure even longer. Not everything preserved in the ice poses a threat, but the truth is, we still don't fully know what exists in the deeper, untouched layers. There is reassuring news. Most ancient viruses are unlikely to infect modern humans. Medicine has advanced dramatically since the days when historical diseases devastated populations. And researchers across the world are working to understand thawing permafrost and prepare for possible risks. But the Arctic is changing faster than scientific knowledge can keep pace. Remote communities are the first to face these changes. Wildlife may carry revived microbes into new ecosystems. Industrial activity can disturb the ground that has remained frozen for centuries. And climate change is melting permafrost faster than researchers can investigate it. As scientists study these ancient microbes, a clearer picture is beginning to emerge. One that connects climate, history, and human resilience. This story reveals three realities. Climate change creates consequences we seldom consider. The melting Arctic is not only reshaping landscapes, it is opening biological chapters long thought closed. The past is not gone. In the Arctic, time is preserved. As the ice retreats, it reveals fragments of ancient ecosystems, some fascinating, some potentially dangerous, and preparation is essential. Researchers are building monitoring programs, cataloging ancient microbes, and supporting northern communities as the landscape around them transforms. In the end, the story of permafrost is not only about what we might uncover, but about what these discoveries can teach us. As the frozen ground continues its slow retreat, each new layer revealed brings us closer to understanding a world long forgotten. For now, the Arctic remains quiet. The ice melts slowly. Each year, a little more ground is exposed. And with it comes a glimpse into worlds preserved in perfect cold, waiting for the moment the Earth grew warm enough to reveal them again.